Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a test in Moodle. Alright, I'm logged into my Moodle account. Up here I have editing turned on, and I'm going to go to my section that I've labeled tests, and I'm simply going to click on the add an activity or resource, and I'm going to go down where it says quiz. Select that and add. Now here's the main screen where you're going to set up all your criteria. I'm going to name this how to create a test in Moodle. You might put a description here about the different things that test might create. It's not necessary. If it was an absolute must, then it would be in red and have that little asterisk behind it. But as you can see here, it's not. There's all kinds of criteria here that you can set for taking your test. You can always go back and edit settings and change all of this later. The only thing I like to do in the beginning is I like to make my layout to where it's all on one page. I do this, but then I change this back before I open it up to students, and I'll show you why later. And I'm going to keep the question order just as I'm going to put it in for now, because I like to go back and copy it and paste it into a Word document so that I have a paper copy that I can give to any student that might be having an issue with their login information. I can give them a paper copy, it's right there and it's ready, and then I change both of these options before I give this out to other people. So the grade, the one thing I'm going to change here, attempts allowed, you can make it to where they can take it over and over again. I usually open up my prior tests and make it unlimited as a study guide before their exams. But when they're taking it for me for a grade, I make it just one attempt. So I'm going to change that here. The question behavior, I'm going to shuffle my answer choices within each question. So it's not all, that way I don't have to worry about mixing up how many B's or how many D's are correct. It'll automatically do that for me. I'll have to think about it. Let's see, review options. I have it to where they can, after they take the test, they can see what the right answer is, and they can kind of evaluate how they did and see what they missed and why. The only thing you have to be careful of is cheating. So I have little dividers that they put between each computer when we're in the lab, and that way it's a little harder for them to go through that review and leave it open for their buddy next to them that may not be done yet, taking the test. They'll leave it open, and that way they get it done. The display, I don't do anything here other than if you want to show decimal places in their grade, it can do that. You can have restrictions on attempts. I just simply make it visible or not make it visible. That way they can do that. You can have it to where they mark activity completion. You can restrict access to where they can't take this test until they've done these other things, these other assignments that you may have in here. There's all kinds of other things that you can do as well. So I have it like I want it, so I'm going to save and return to course. Alright, so here it is. I don't want anybody to see my test until I'm ready for them, so instead of restricting access, I'm simply going to open up this edit button, and I'm going to hide it. Now they can't see the test until I open that back up. Alright, so now I'm going to come into my test. There's no questions, so I'm going to hit edit quiz. Okay. Alright, if I want my maximum grade to be different than 10, you change it right there. I'm going to make this worth 100 points. You can go back at any point in time and change that as well. And then I'm going to start adding in my questions. I'm going to start with a multiple choice. Alright, the question name is very important, and I learned this the hard way. You want to think about every question that you create goes into a question bank that you can use for future tests, future years, etc. And it really is a time saver. The one thing you want to try to do, though, and try to keep in mind, is that after you create a question, it stores it in the question bank in alphabetical order. So, for instance, all of my questions related To Kill a Mockingbird, I start off the same way, TKAM. And then I might have a few words to tell me what that question is. And And I can always open it up if I forget, and I can look at it and see if that's one I want to use again. But instead of me looking through 500 questions, I can simply look at that section in my question bank that's all grouped together, labeled TKAM. They're all right there together, and it's so much easier. So definitely think about how you want to word this. So I'm going to label this Moodle um, senior. I'll say multiple choice. Multiple choice. All right. What is another name for a 12th grade student? All right. And then down here, I'm going to have freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. And senior is the correct answer. It's 100% the correct answer, so I'm going to assign it 100% of the point value. All right. Also up here, where it has default mark, the default mark is 1. Let's say I want to make this a 2-point or a 5-point. You change it right there. It's real simple. And you can go back and change that at any point. All right. If you needed more choices, they give you 5 by default. I don't have 5. I only have 4. You can add them in. It adds 3 at a time. Just use as many as you need. If it's left blank, it won't show up on the test. And then I'm going to save my changes. Okay. So that's how you would do a multiple choice. And I'm not going to go through all the questions, but I'm just going to show you. You can add in an essay. You can add in matching, short answer, true or false. There are quite a few. And I did this before, and I already have some in here. Some of the things that you have to keep in mind when you're adding these in for short answer, it will grade it for you, but you'll always have students that go in and they might put in, instead of senior, you ask what's another name for a 12th grader. The correct answer is senior. It'll have it to where it'll accept it if it's lowercase or if it's uppercase, but they might put a senior, or the answer is a senior, or something like that, and it won't recognize that. So you may, no matter what you do, still have to go back and check those short answers. I love making tests in Moodle because what it does is it frees me up to be able to put in more extended responses or essay questions. And then all I have to grade are those. And I go in and I can grade those manually, and it's very simple. All right, so I already did this before, and I'm going to show you what I meant by the question bank. If I come down, and it's going to group in alphabetical order, it's going to have first all the essays. Then this is going to be matching, where it has the dots on both sides, and those will be in alphabetical order. So I'm going to get down to my multiple choice. Well, actually, I have a matching one in here. Moodle matching. So I want to add that in. I'm going to put a little check by it. I already did the multiple choice one. And let me come down a little further. And you can see, you get a lot of questions in here. So having that ready to go and grouped together to where it makes sense, it saves so much time. So now I'm in my short answer. So I'm going to put a check by that. And now down here where it has just 2 dots, that stands for true and false. So I'm going to go down to my M's, and I'm going to find Moodle true and false. So I checked the ones that I want. I'm going to simply click this add to quiz. And look, they're in there. So now I have 4 questions in here. I think I had an essay in here too that I had set up. So I'm going to come in. These first ones are essay ones. So I'm going to look to Moodle essay right there. I'm going to do that one as well. All right, so now my test is made up of 5 questions. I have my maximum grade 100. If I leave it like this with total marks of 18, what it's going to do, it's going to adjust this automatically in there so that each one is worth more. So I can adjust this. I can actually go back and make my test worth only 18 points if I want. or I can adjust it over here and save. So I'm just going to make it worth 18 points. Now, to show you what I'm talking about as to why I leave, how this would look and why I leave it all on one page and in the same order, to start off with, let me show you why. I'm going to go back one step to how to create a test in Moodle, and I'm going to preview my quiz. All right, and there it is. So now I'm going to go and I'm just going to copy. And then I'd already come in here and I pasted it in here. You just want to make sure that you paste it when you paste it with this little A here when you right click, or if you want to go in and you do the manual paste, make sure you paste special without formatting, or otherwise you get all those weird formatting things. And then I'd have to go in here and I'd have to make all kinds of adjustments, take out all this extra stuff, number it. It takes me about an extra 10 minutes to be able to go through and format it, but you get used to it. It doesn't take long. Um, I just find that works for me. Then I have my paper copy. I have my copy in there. Now, I like having it shuffled, so I'm going to go back to my main page, and I'm going to go down to here, and I'm going to edit my settings. It's still hidden. It's grayed out, so nobody can see it. And on layout, I'm going to, for the question order, I want to shuffle them randomly. It kind of just helps cut down on cheating if everybody doesn't have the same question in the same order. And then I also want to put one question on every page. Now that I have it copied and pasted and I did all that, I can do that. And it's how I want it for the students when they take it on the computer. All right. And then when I'm ready, I get them in the classroom. I tell them, okay, go ahead and get logged in. I make sure everybody's logged in. And I say, okay. And I hit the show button. Test is open. Go ahead and take your test. And then I can walk around. I keep little dividers between the computers. I'm monitoring. They're able to get immediate feedback. And then later I can go back and grade my extended response questions and finish it up like that. And that's how you make a test in Moodle. Thank you.